If you were to sit across from a veteran of the Second World War and ask him what kept him alive, not the rifles, not the tanks, not the grand strategies, but the skills, you would discover an entirely different kind of battlefield wisdom. For about a minute, let me hook you into that mindset. Picture a soldier in 1943, thousands of miles from home, operating in environments far harsher than most preppers ever train in. Supplies fail, weather shifts, orders change. What never changes is the need to adapt, endure, and solve problems with whatever is available. These men learned their craft through exhaustion, fear, and repetition. Their lessons came at a high cost. And today, those lessons remain some of the most practical survival knowledge ever earned by human hands. That is what we're diving into. Not romanticized warfare, but 8 hard, unfiltered, field-forged skills every modern survivalist should respect and understand. The first skill is mastering fieldcraft beyond the textbook definition. World War II soldiers learned that fieldcraft was everything. How you move, how you set up a temporary hide, how you use terrain without fighting it. Allied scouts in the Italian mountains adapted quickly. They learned to read the ground, avoid silhouetting themselves on ridgelines, and blend with their surroundings using actual terrain, not gear, as their camouflage. For the survivalists today, fieldcraft starts with spending real time outdoors, learning how light, shadow, sound, and wind expose you. If you slip into a patch of bush and your outline still looks like a human, you're not practicing fieldcraft. You're playing dress-up. True fieldcraft is the discipline of becoming less noticeable than the terrain around you. The second skill is water discipline learned the hard way across Europe, Africa, and the Pacific. Soldiers quickly learned that thirst is deadlier than the enemy. In North Africa, British and German troops alike rationed their canteens with brutal precision, drinking small measured amounts to avoid dehydration while preventing stomach shock. Modern survivalists often focus on purification but overlook consumption discipline. If you're trekking long distances, the World War II method applies. Drink modestly at regular intervals and never overconsume when exhausted. It maintains body temperature and stamina far better than chugging water only when you feel desperate. The third skill is improvising tools and solutions on the spot. World War II soldiers were world-class improvisers because they had no other choice. American GIs used helmet cups for boiling water, frying small portions of food, or heating medical instruments. Soviet infantry crafted makeshift sleds from ammunition crates during winter retreats. For a survivalist today, the lesson is simple. Your gear is not your survival. Your adaptability is. A stainless steel water bottle becomes a boiler, a shovel becomes a cooking stand, a poncho becomes a pressure bandage wrap. Practice with limited gear until you stop viewing items for what they are and start viewing them for what they can become. The fourth skill is proper fire discipline, not just in combat but in personal behaviour. In World War II, careless sparks gave away positions, ruined night vision, and sometimes cost lives. Troops learned to shield flames with rocks, helmets, or trenches. Survivalists can adapt this immediately. If you're in the wild, keep flames below eye level, bend the light, and understand how far smoke carries. There's also a deeper layer emotional fire discipline. Soldiers learn to stay calm under pressure because panic wastes energy and clarity. In survival terms, this means stopping before reacting. assessing your next move and refusing to let fear dictate your pace. The fifth skill is navigating without reliance on tools. World War II troops frequently operated with maps that were outdated, incomplete, or barely accurate. Infantrymen learned to navigate by terrain association, matching ridges, valleys, and waterways to what little information they had. Even without a compass, they used the sun's path, shadow lengths, and the orientation of vegetation. For a modern survivalist, this means spending time intentionally navigating with no GPS and no compass, using terrain features to orient yourself. Start with short routes, then increase distance. If World War II foot soldiers could cross entire countries with basic terrain reading, modern preppers should at least master their local region. The sixth skill is mastering fuel efficiency of the body. Soldiers in World War II understood calorie budgeting as a survival necessity. Troops on the Eastern Front sometimes lived on just a few hundred calories a day, yet they learned to pace themselves, move smartly, and minimize unnecessary exertion. A survivalist often thinks about food storage, but not energy storage. The World War II method applies directly: move at a sustainable pace, lighten loads ruthlessly, and prioritize rest before exhaustion. The body is your engine, and in any long-term scenario, managing your output is just as important as managing resources. The seventh skill is maintaining gear like your life depends on it, because for World War II soldiers it absolutely did. A rifle that wasn't cleaned daily in the Pacific rusted. Boots that weren't dried out led to trench foot. Helmets that weren't checked for cracks failed when needed. Modern survivalists sometimes buy high-quality gear but treat it casually. Apply World War II discipline, clean tools after every use, inspect fabrics for wear, replace frayed cordage, dry everything before packing it, and rotate supplies with military precision. You prolong the life of your gear and reduce failure points. The eighth skill is mental endurance, the quiet backbone of World War II infantry survival. Soldiers pushed through hunger, cold, loss, and endless fatigue. What kept them going wasn't motivation, it was structure. They created daily routines even in chaos. For a survivalist, mental endurance isn't about brute toughness. It's about building routines that stabilize your thinking when the situation deteriorates. Something as simple as morning tasks, equipment checks, or small goals can keep you anchored. If you train this in everyday life, you won't collapse under unexpected stress. These 8 skills weren't learned in lectures. They were carved into the daily lives of World War II soldiers through hardship and repetition. And if you take them seriously, they elevate your preparedness from hobby-level knowledge to real-world capability. If you value deep historical insights paired with practical survival wisdom, make sure you subscribe to Warfield Prepper Chronicles, share this guide with someone who'll appreciate it, and stay tuned for more field-tested history that matters.